Welcome to Tangling Along with me. We are continuing on a tile today where we're going to use a few of the patterns from the last page that we made. And I'm gonna make some special coasters today. These are actually coasters for Pagamano. I don't know how to say that. I found them very cheap in a store for around a year or two ago, and I wanted to do these coasters. There are 4 of these in this little box here. Let me just start with unwrapping here so we can see what's here. Looks like it already has been popped in. That's not good. Is that like that in all of these? I think it is. Okay. Let's see if I can get it out. Should be some easier way to do this. I can feel that it is just sitting in there. Oh, this is bad. Oh well, I am going to try to get it out off screen here without ruining it. I'm afraid that is too late now. Okay, let's start with the drawing. So I have this Translucen-Z tile that we're going to work on today. And I'm going to start with my graphite pen. First I'm gonna pop in a dot in each corner, like we always do. Actually, I think I'm gonna make it a little smaller because I want this little corner here to be free. So then I'm connecting the dots together. And that was really crooked. I don't want it to be that crooked. Doesn't actually really matter, but I don't want it here on this tile. I want to be a little more squared. Then I am actually going to make an inner frame here because I want a border around this tangle. So I'm just eyeballing the size of this border. We can always change it up. And then I think I'm going in with kind of a rice corn shape here. In the middle. And remember, this is just a string line, so you can do it just like you feel like. And if you rather want something else in the middle, then do something else in the middle. There we go. Let's get started. I'm gonna use a Micron 01 in black this time. And I am going for this pattern. And I'm gonna do that around the border if it is possible. So I'm gonna make my line here. And this way I already have my corner squares. Whoops. Don't worry if it is a tiny bit wonky, it's all fine. And I'm gonna make the outside border as well. And everything is wonky here. Oh, and remember, on this paper the ink dries a little slower than normal. So you have been warned. Turn it around. And I want this to be divided in squares as well. That was my plan. I might not do that all the way, but right now I am giving it an extra square here to each side, like that, and then the same on the other side of the square. There we go. And then I'm gonna go with my lines here, making this into the tangle that we want. And I'm rounding off the corners here. Coloring in the small interstices it gets. And yes, this is quite small. And then we make this little seed pot in here as well. And now we just do that in all corners. Like that. And the last one here. And the small seeds. And then this piece over here. And again. Ooh, I cut a little too much off this corner. Oh well. Sorry about that. And the little small seeds. Now for the next corner, we're gonna do the same. And I'm always going in with 3 lines when I am making this crisscross in the middle of the square. the seeds. And then doing it in the next one. Remember to loosen your grip around your pin a tiny bit so that we don't choke it. The seeds. Next one. And then rounding off the corners in these triangular shapes that we get when we are crossing out the square. And remember to take your time, so if I am too fast for you, you can always pause, and if I'm too slow for you, you can skip ahead. But I am not going to speed my video up, nor am I going to skip this part. I want you to be able to draw it together with me if you want to. But you are very welcome to skip ahead. Seeds. Some of these seeds are really, really tiny, but I want them in there. Remember to relax in your shoulders. And when I say stuff like this, is also to remind myself to do the same, because I feel my shoulder is going up right now, so I'm just going to relax in it again. Almost done with this corner. Just the small seeds in there. There we go, last corner. Starting to look good already. And again. Taking my time with this. I'm in no hurry. And it's all fine if some of your lines are wonky. It doesn't really matter. At the end result, it will look good anyway. And you can always go back and correct a line if you see something where you didn't do it like you wanted it to. This one. Almost done with this one. If you want to, you can do the whole border with this pattern. But I was having a plan for the rest of this border. I actually just got that while drawing my string lines, because I was preparing to do this pattern all the way around my border, but I got another idea. And that's okay to have an idea when you start and then change it on the way. It's all fine. Again, that's a good part about Zentangle. You can do it just like you want to. And sometimes the tiles are just kind of telling you where to go with this or that string line or this or that tangle. So you can always stop up and look at your tile to figure out where to go with it and what to do. There it is. I really like that. I'm thinking of popping in this tile in these places here. No, not this tile, this pattern in these places here. So I am going with that. And normally you take it from one end to the other, but I want that thingy in the middle. So I'm making a tiny circle here in around the middle of this ribbon that we have here, like that. And then I'm gonna make my big leaves around that. Circle here, and I can make these hatching lines right away, doing the same over here. And my hatching lines. Again, remember that this ink is drying a tiny bit slower on this paper, so be careful that you don't touch it right after you made it, because then you might get the ink all over your drawing, and you don't really want that. And please do turn your tile as much as needed. Now we are making the leaves that is kind of auraing the flower. Or the petals. And the next row is going to be smaller petals. It is kind of a teardrop shape. And again, even smaller. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. And then when you don't have room for any more, you just pop in a dot. And they actually make kind of a line in these petals or leaves. So I'm gonna do that as well. Just a simple line. Okay, looking good so far. So now I wanna do something in the middle place here, and I'm not really sure which one I want. I'm thinking about this one right here, and yeah, let's do that. So I'm gonna do that here, going up. So I'm starting here at this point and going up like that. And then we're gonna make one that is tethered at the bottom but is kind of auraing the shape that we just did, like that. And I'm gonna do one more trying to reach the edge of this string line that we'd made. And I'm gonna do this the same. First I'm making the shape, then I'm making a tethered inside aura. Turn it around and I'm gonna do the same over here. So first my shape, and then my tethered inside aura. There we go. And then one more. First the shape, and then the tethered inside aura. And of course going under everywhere. And again, I think I'm gonna pop in some more here. So I'm gonna do one here, and making the tethered inside aura. And then I'm gonna do one more, and it's gonna go up and be big and bold, and the inside aura like that. Turn around and do the same. So first the smaller inside piece, and then the bigger one here on the outside. And of course my tethered aura. Ooh, I like that. I'm gonna pop in some orbs here because I want to kind of make this teardrop shape visible. So I am popping in a few auras. No, not auras. Orbs, of course. Again, remember to don't choke your pen, because when we're making these orbs, I especially do tend to grab firmer on my pen for some reason. I don't know why. So I'm just making some orbs here, and I think I'm gonna do the same down here. And I'm making mine really small. You don't have to do that. And here and there I have a big one. I really like that. I am actually thinking of coloring in this black here between all my orbs. To get a little more boldness on this tile. I could have taken a thicker micron to do this, but I don't feel like getting another one right now, so I am just using this one because I already had it in my hand, so it's very easy to just continue with that one. So I am just coloring in this little sorry about that, this little middle part here. Taking my time, relaxing my hand and remembering to breathe everything at once. There we go. I think that turned out really neat. I'm going to turn around my tile, I think, and I'm gonna make the rest on this side just because I can. And I'm gonna make this pattern right here. So let's see. I'm gonna start with a line from here to here and the same here. And actually I think I need to color up this line here. And sometimes these pens are just giving up on this paper, so I'm just making sure it is working. And I am Drawing this line as well. And I'm gonna do the same over here. Oh, it has a hard time to draw on this paper right now. And then this line. Ah, come on. I don't know what's happening here. Okay, I'm gonna see if I have a PN right here. I have, because this one is acting up right now, so I'm just going to a PN instead. And I was hoping this one would draw. Wow. This is not a black. That's the reason I don't have a black PN right here. Okay. I'm gonna take my white, my 01 then and try to see if it will work now. I think that works. And then coloring up this line here. And of course around here. Trying to get the exact same line as on the background. And this outer line. Ah, come on. I don't know what's happening here. There we go. I think that's okay. And I'm just gonna go in with a straight grid for this pattern this time. And it's around, I think, 1 centimeter wide. Do it the same thing over on this side. Oh, that is annoying. Come on. Maybe it's a pen that is dying on me, it could be. But I know the surface of this paper could be a problem. Then I'm gonna go in with the other direction lines here. Making these square. Ah, come on. Turning it around and doing the same, making sure it is all dry before I place my hand on the ink. I think it's the paper acting up. And then down there. And then we need to make these diamond shapes in all these connecting areas. just gonna take my time with this and color in these small diamond shapes. And I'm trying to make a notice of what is happening here, if I could have one or not. And right here I could not. It's like there's something on the paper right here. Because it worked fine up there. Remember to breathe. Relax your shoulders. And I need one right here as well. And then we're gonna go over here. Trying to figure out how much of these would be visible here. I think that's good. Give it a second to dry before we continue. So I think that would be a tiny bit of a piece right here. And we will see something right here. Oops. Got a little carried away there. And if you have more than me, then just take your time and do them all. And if you have less, good for you. You will be finished before me. And that is all fine as well. Remember, there's no mistakes. I don't see anything right there, but this corner here, or connection. And down here you would see some as well. Nothing there. maybe a tiny bit here. And right here. Almost done with these diamond shapes. I need one right here. There we go. That's it. We are done with the diamond shaping. Let's cap the pen. Put that away. We don't need that anymore. Make sure everything is all dry. And from this side, it is actually looking pretty good. So I'm going in with my Tortillion, no, with my graphite, not the Tortillion. And I am gonna go and pop a shadow in right here. And the same on this side. And that's a good part about these tiles here. You can draw on both sides and you will see it through the sides. And it's subtle, like a dark gray color. And sometimes you can use that for something really, really fun. You can also just color on one side of these tiles. That would be perfect as well. There we go. Back to my graphite. I want to put a little graphite here where this line is going underneath the other one to highlight that. And using my Tortillion to make it soft and nice looking. And careful on this paper because you can actually drag your graphite out really, really much on these papers. I'm gonna pop in a tiny bit of graphite here at the bottom of this one in the inside, and I'm gonna drag that out a tiny bit, getting a nice shadow right there. Doing the same over here. Dragging that out again. I do have a lot on this Tortillion, so I'm just gonna go in here with that around these centers of these flowers. If I don't have enough, I have my paper with my graphite here on the side, so I can catch a tiny bit more without putting more graphite on my picture. There we go. I'm gonna make a graphite line right here. And I'm gonna do that all the way around. like that, using my Tortillion to soften that out a tiny bit, dragging it down over my flour. Like that. I like that. Let me turn this around because I want some shading here in this pattern here. Again, using my Tortillion and softening that out. And as you can see, I only put a little in there. Turn it around, and I'm gonna do the same and in the same corner, so this will be kind of mirrored shading. Again, using my Tortillion. Shading that pattern, turn it around. I like that. I think I'm gonna make a line here around the outside of the pattern. To kind of frame it all with a shadow. And again, using my Tortillion to soften that out. Normally I go in circle motions, but here I'm just going from side to side, so I can control the line a tiny bit better. Because I don't want it to be too thick here. Two more sides. You can always put in some colors if you want to, but I think I'm gonna make mine black and white. Back to basic thing. Let's take a little of the white charcoal, and I'm just gonna pop in a tiny bit of that here on top of these. Let's call them bows. Using my Tortillion for the white. And just carefully giving it a tiny bit. Not too much, I don't want it to disappear. There you go. It won't be that visible. Unless you have something behind it, then it is. So I could make a white line here. Again, it won't be that noticeable, but it's there. And here I'm using my small circle movements. And I'm gonna do it on the other side here as well. There we go. Finding my Tortillions for the white. And it for some reason has a tiny bit of gray on there. like that. Give me a second. I'm going to try to open this thing here and then I will be back. So I was fighting with this one and I was thinking that I needed to get this little piece here off, and I gave my husband one and said, please open this for me. And he said, yeah, okay. And then he did like that. Did you see that? It is right here, and not here in the corner as I thought. So that was easy to open it. Anyway, it fits my tile so great. So I'm just gonna pop my tile in there and close it. And there I have my first of 4 coasters. So I have 3 more that we are going to make at some point, but I actually think it turned out really, really neat. And you can see it from both sides in this nice little coaster here. I really think it's cool. It fits these tiles really, really well. So that was all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I will take a small break again in around a week, and then we will start on the next page in our book. But that's it for today. Thank you for joining me. Have an attitude of gratitude. Subscribe, like, and ring the bell button.